Hey there, welcome. Welcome to Rise and Receive. This is a reset point in your day where you get to stop whatever you're doing and explore how to receive fulfillment in your life by unlearning struggle. So today we are doing part 3 in a 3-part mini training on wellness and beauty. Hey Ruth, great to see you here. And so we have been talking about blind spots that get in the way of you being able to surpass your limits regarding wellness and beauty goals, whatever they may be. And so to reconnect to today's training and to be able to make this as relevant as possible for you, I invite you to just take a moment to connect with what are your goals around wellness, health, beauty, your relationship with your physical body, and whether it's how you want to feel, how you want to look, your status of health, your experience, what it's like to be in this body that you live in every single day. Just take a moment to connect with where you feel limited and what it would look like and feel like to go beyond those limits, to surpass those limits as best as you can connect with that. All right, so let yourself connect with that and then bring that awareness and those goals that you have for yourself through this training, because I'm going to walk you step by step through a very powerful, very simple, really transformational tool that I teach to all of my clients and anyone who'll listen who wants to surpass their limits, because that's what I'm about. So if you don't know me, my name is Sonia Miller. I'm a speaker, coach, and best-selling author, and I mentor ambitious, goal-oriented people to surpass their limits with ease and speed, and how to go beyond what you've imagined possible. Because these limits that we have, these upper limits, in my experience as a coach now for more than 20 years, really boils down to this. If you're ambitious and goal-oriented, you tend to favor or over-rely on what I call the doing skill. You're a really good doer. And when you're a really good doer, you use your mind, you do a lot of problem solving, you take actions, and you approach your goals and dreams as a problem to solve. Now, that's good if you're task-oriented or have a very specific project, you're in project manager mode, you know what your goal is, you know your timeline, and you're planning on taking actions, and it's something that's like very concrete and tangible that you want to execute. However, when other aspects of you that are not just human doing, but are actually human beingness that is messy, like feelings and emotions and limiting beliefs and the sensations that you experience in your body. And boy, when you have body goals, that stuff gets really amplified, because wherever you go, there you are. There's your body. So whatever activates you or charges you about your body, that's going to be part of your journey around whatever your goals are. And when it doesn't fit into a nice, neat plan, then what? Well, that's what causes the upper limit. And we have to be able to tap into our human being skills and be just as, proficient as those skills as we are as human doings. But here's what happens. When you have gotten valued and appreciated and validated for how smart you are and your achievements and all that you can do, then your sense of value gets reaffirmed over and over, and we tend to do more of that. It becomes like a security blanket for us. It's our go-to. So we don't reach our goals, we hit a limit, and then what happens? We work even harder. But you're just doing more of the same thing, so there's that upper limit. However, when you stop all the doing and become willing to tap into your being skills, then that upper limit can disappear. And that's what we do here. That's what we illuminate, are the blind spots that occur when you over-rely on doing and don't know how to access the power of being. I'm going to say one more thing that I've woven throughout some of these trainings, but it's a really important concept to understand. And here's this. When you operate as a human doing, you look at life through the lens of doing and not doing. So you may be doing something, you may be trying to execute a plan and work really hard, and you may or may not be successful. You might also decide, well, it is or isn't working and I need to stop all this doing. Or you've discovered that all of this doing isn't providing fulfillment, you're not happy, and it's not sustainable. So some part of you thinks there has to be another way, and then you stop the doing. But this is what happens. The absence of doing does not equal the power of being. Being is its own power source, power model. It is useful, it's productive, it produces results, but most of us are unfamiliar with the power of being. At best, what we do is we look at it through the lens of doing, and we judge beingness through action or inaction. So all of a sudden, this being, which isn't a bunch of doing, we judge it as lazy, unmotivated, weak, messy, unproductive, slow, right? We don't understand being at all. So that's what we do here at Rise and Receive. We start to really understand the power of being, and we start to explore the primary skill that comes with being, which is receiving. I teach people how to receive their fulfillment by unlearning struggle. Some struggle in life is natural, like a baby being born or a seed pushing through the earth or a butterfly coming out of the cocoon, and some storms are natural. There's some struggle there. But a lot of our struggle is learned when the only skill that we have comes from doing, when we over-rely or overcompensate with doing. So with that said, as I mentioned, I'm all about ease, speed, and beyond in terms of surpassing your limits. And we've already talked about ease and we've already talked about speed in the earlier trainings this week. So today we're going to talk about beyond. Now, the pain point that comes when you have wellness and body issues related to this beyond is you hit your limit. You feel limited. I can only get so far. That could look like a number of different things. For example, a common one with body is around weight loss and fitness, right? So your limit might be that you're doing everything right, but you're not getting the results you want. Or you're doing everything right, and you still don't feel good in your body. Or you have a plan and you don't do it, right? These are all different kinds of limits. Now, there could also be limits in terms of your health and well-being, like you have a symptom or you have a diagnosis and you just want that to go away and you want to feel better. So you do all kinds of research, and no matter what you do, you try different things and you hit a limit. It's like, I can't find the answer. I can't get the result I want. I've tried a million different things. So this pain point is you're feeling limited. You're hitting that upper limit. Now, when you hit that limit, what keeps you trapped on what I call the hard work treadmill is you keep asking the same question. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And this will tie into the other two trainings about human doingness and human beingness. So you can go back and fill in some of the gaps if you missed any of that. The recordings are available. I'll provide some links. So what do I do? Today I'm going to illuminate what I call the hunter blind spot. And this points to how a hunter approaches goals. Right? A hunter approaches a goal, we talked about in the earlier training, like an object. So a target becomes an object that you try to conquer. And when you have a goal around your body, whether it's feeling better, getting healthier, losing weight, becoming more beautiful, more attractive, whatever that is, you look at that as an object or a thing to get. I'm going to conquer this. I'm going to figure this out. But those limits that I talked about tell us that even under the best scenario, if you get the prize, you get the target, you get the result that you want, like a hunter, it doesn't guarantee peace, wellness, or fulfillment. And if you've ever tried to get in shape or lost weight, you know if you were successful that you're going to reach that success and it'll feel good for a while. And then what? Maintenance. You got to keep showing up for yourself. It doesn't mean you're happily ever after. That's not what happily ever after is. So then we connect to the earlier training and we remember that what you really want are feelings. You want to feel a certain way in your body. You might want to feel healthy, light, agile, energetic, beautiful. So we're focusing on the essence, right? And there was another thing I was going to say. It escaped my mind. So what was I going to say? I hate when that happens. So anyway, you're going to focus on the essence. I just remembered. And the correct way to approach your goals is to see your body goals as a relationship. So instead of objectifying your body, you have a relationship with your body. So hunter blind spot, you can recognize that that's happening because you're dealing with your body and all of your goals as something you're trying to get. And the way that you start to dissolve the upper limit is you shift from something to get, object, right, to the experience I want to have. What is the relationship I want to have? This is starting to get you into being mode and into feeling mode. Make sense? All right. So what we're going to do today then is we're going to shift from getting what you want to receiving the experience you want. Another way to think about this is think about a relationship that either feels great or doesn't feel great. Okay, it doesn't matter what your experience of it is, but think of a person or relationship, and ideally you'll think of one that feels really good to you. Now, that relationship feels good because every time you show up to it, it's a positive experience. And if you're thinking about one that feels bad because it's hard to connect right now to something that feels good, think about why it makes it a bad experience. Is because every time you show up to it, it doesn't feel good, right? So that's what we do with our bodies. And if you want to experience fulfillment, if you want to surpass your limits around your body, start to think about how do I want to feel when I show up in this relationship? That's going to start to point you in the right direction. Now, when we're shifting from getting to receiving, we're going to now dive deeper into what is receiving. Because as I said before, most ambitious goal-oriented people don't know what receiving is. We think that receiving is getting. I'm going to get the goal weight. I'm going to get better. I'm going to get healthy. We think it's something that we capture like a target, conquer it, and we're done forever. That's how we approach happily ever after. That's what the fairy tales tell us, right? We meet the romantic partner of our dreams and we lived happily ever after. Until, I don't know, somebody loses a job or there's a challenging relative that's coming over for dinner that you didn't know about. Like things happen, life happens. Life is an ever-changing thing. So it's our relationship to life, our relationship to our body, our relationship to our goals and dreams. How do you show up for this relationship? How do you experience this relationship? When you tap into what that really means, then you start to have really the true meaning of happily ever after can become possible for you. And I'm going to tell you what the truth of happily ever after is, what you're really looking for. Okay. Instead of I lived happily ever after, I got my goal and I lived happily ever after. We know that that's just not possible. That's not how life is. Okay. Like I said, you reach your goal and then there's maintenance. But instead is I lived forever open to good fortune. They lived forever open to good fortune. Openness, receptivity, the willingness to see, believe, and experience how life always offers kindness, like the majestic tree, as opposed to the hunter who receives all day long. Now we're on to something. Now we're starting to go beyond the upper limit. All right, so that's what we're going to do. Getting is finite. It's concrete. It's done. Then you're back to seeking more. Receiving is an experience that moves through you, that flows through you. Life offers kindness. You keep receiving. You keep being open, just like the tree. So how does this translate to wellness and beauty? I'm going to teach you now, or go over, maybe you've been to some of the other trainings, I'm going to go over the 3-step receive method that I teach in everything. It's very simple. but it is deep and it is profound and it's transformational. And just like the tree that keeps receiving all day long, as you start to receive all day long, as you become a fortunate receiver, just like the tree, you expand and flourish and flourish and flourish, and you become more of who and what you really are. And your roots go deeper and you feel stronger and more sovereign in your relationship with yourself. It's a homecoming. And that's where your true power is in your beingness. So the 3-step method is this: ALI. A stands for awareness. L stands for let it be here. And I stands for invite more or better. So let's start with, for example, and I'm going to walk you through this. So think about your goal or your dream and just start to become aware of how you can practice this in your own life, right? So the first thing is you have a goal, and let's say you want to lose 10 pounds, right? Now the hunter would say, what do I do to lose 10 pounds? And sets up a plan and sets dates and goals and diets and exercise, whatever. What do I do? Okay. And then you're either successful in following the plan or you're not. Or you're successful in following the plan and you don't get the results. And then that just generates, we know how that goes. So we're gonna do something different than the hunter. Now we're going to move into receiving. So the first thing you do is you become aware. A. And you can do this both in speaking to yourself. You can do this on a walk. You can do this when you're driving your car. And one of my favorite ways to do this is to do this in writing. So you write down A for awareness. And you start stating or writing down everything that you're aware of related to this topic. So again, the goal is I want to lose 10 pounds. And you're going to explore what you want, awareness about what you want, awareness about what you don't want, awareness about what you feel, awareness about your expectations, awareness about your beliefs, awareness about what you think is required to achieve this goal. In other words, you're going to do a complete and total brain dump. And I'm going to tell you why this is so important that you do this in a second. But first, let's do it. So A, I'm going to riff on this. I'm aware that I want to lose 10 pounds. Write it down. I'm also aware that I think I need to eat 1,200 calories a day. I'm also aware that I think I need to do yoga every morning and then go to the gym 3 times a week. I'm aware that I really want to be a size 4, whatever, right? I'm aware that I really want to weigh, 120 pounds. So I want this, I want that, I want this, I want this. I'm aware that I want to fit into my jeans from high school. So you just keep writing down your wants. I'm also aware, don't wants now, I'm aware that I don't want to hit a plateau, and I don't want to sabotage myself, and I don't want to feel deprived, and I don't want to feel trapped into a set of rules for the rest of my life. I'm also aware that I don't want to gain the weight back after I lose the 10 pounds. And I don't want this to not work like so many other things I've tried. All of your wants, I'm aware. All of the don't wants, I'm aware. I'm aware that I feel frustrated. I'm aware that I feel discouraged. We're now onto the feelings. I'm aware that that I have done this a million times before and I'm sick of this yo-yo thing. Aware, feelings. I'm aware that I believe or I assume that my past equals the present and it's going to be more of the same. I'm also aware that I believe that because I'm postmenopausal that I'm just never going to lose this weight. All right. I believe that this is going to be harder work for the rest of my life because the older I get, the harder it is. So assumptions, beliefs. Dump. You put it all down on paper or you speak it out loud. I've done this when I'm just walking. I'm aware of this and I'm aware of this. I'm aware of this. Eventually you get to the place where you are empty. Now, why is this brain dump and the emptiness so important and powerful? Because you need a space in which to receive something new. You see, your awareness, your conscious awareness, because your consciousness creates your reality, your awareness is a space. Now, a bowl that is full can receive nothing new. A bowl that is empty can receive something new. So your awareness, when you are doing what you've always done, is filled with problem solving. Okay, when you are dieting and you're doing the hunter thing and what do I do and what's the answer, the space of your awareness is filled with problem solving. And there's two things about that sabotage you, that prevent you from going beyond your upper limit. Number one, your consciousness creates your reality. So problem solving creates more problem solving. You focus on problems, you get problems. That's why people keep trying the same thing over and over again, and they never get beyond their upper limit because their consciousness never changes. So that's one. What you focus upon flourishes. Another way of saying that is what you resist persists. So when you are problem solving, all of your consciousness is focused on everything you don't want. You're focused on problems, you get problems. You focus on, I'm trying to fix myself, you're going to continue to experience yourself as broken and not enough because you're pushing against and resisting what you don't want. What you resist persists. You're focusing on it, it flourishes. Right? So that problem solving doesn't work for a million different reasons. Now, you take everything in your awareness, all that problem solving, you put it down on paper. A. Now, we move on to L. Let it be here. So all of this, you now simply let it be here. Take a breath. We're going to start breathing now when you let it be here. What happens when you let it be here? What's actually happening? You are letting go of all the resistance. All of the problems that had your attention no longer has your attention. You're not fixing it. You're not making the problems go away. They get to be here. You're putting down your sword and your shield. You're giving up the fight. You're letting all of this swirl and this battle land. Let it be here. Let it land. Now, for those of you who have been in other spiritual circles or have heard the phrase, you just got to let it go. Let go and let God. When you let it go, it'll come to you. We all have heard sayings about the power of letting go. The reason I say let it be here as opposed to let it go is this. Letting go works. Absolutely 1,000%. Okay, because when you let go, you're no longer resisting. However, the mind hates letting go. The mind hears let it go and it perceives loss. And it feels like it's a threat because you think because you're letting go of control, which the mind absolutely needs to stay alive. And you feel that you might be letting go of the thing that you want, that you can never have it again. There's all of this fear associated with let it go. But the truth is that the correct energy is one and the same. If you let it be here, you're just letting go of the fight. So it's safe. Just let it be here. Let it land. Take some deep breaths. And as you breathe, what's going to happen in your awareness is you're going to go from here to here. From problem solving and spinning to feeling and sensing, which is what human beings embody. Feeling and sensing. You're going to feel at least a little, maybe a lot of spaciousness, relief. There's going to be a settling, okay? And you have to practice this if you're not used to it, but basically something will shift. There's now a space. Space is the invitation. Space is the invitation. If you don't believe me, think about every kitchen counter you've ever cleared off. Lots of space. How long does it take before there's keys and mail on it? It's an invitation. Think about the closet that you cleaned out for spring cleaning. Nice and organized, lots of space. How long does it take before it's filled up with stuff? It's an invitation. Think about the garden that you've weeded and cleared out the sticks and the cat droppings and the pebbles, and it's nice and clear. The spaciousness is an invitation for more weeds, more leaves. Space is the invitation. Another side note, many of you may have heard the saying, the universe abhors a vacuum. because vacuums, space, gets filled up. Well, I'm going to invite you to change your relationship to that statement if that's something that you've heard or believed in. The universe loves to fill up space. Life is always offering kindness. The question isn't where's the kindness or how do I find the kindness? The question is, will you receive it? Will you let go of everything that you're holding on to, fighting or resisting? Let it land so that you can create a space to receive the next thing that life is offering. You're expanding your capacity to receive more and more of the fulfillment that is already here. So that's L, let it land. Now, to amplify the good and the invitation, then you can actually actively invite more or better. So you've been doing all of this problem solving around your wants and your don't wants and the 10 pounds and this and that and the other thing. And then you've been aware, let it land, and you can invite more or better than what you've had. So you can use willingness or a question. So a question is an invitation to life. What else is possible now? How does it get even better than this? Whoops, my lights are going off. Let me turn that back on. There we go. Okay. You can also now put your attention on what you actually want. Remember those goals and dreams? So you can say, I am willing to feel great in my body under all conditions. I'm willing to feel great in my clothes under all conditions. I'm willing to discover how to feel and be healthy. No matter what is going on, no matter what my fears are doing, no matter what my symptoms are doing, remember, ask yourself, how do I want to feel and experience my relationship with my body? Be willing to believe it, to see it, to discover, to experience, to feel it. You don't have to worry about how. Life takes care of the how. You just put your focus on what you want, especially how you want to feel, because we're focusing on the essence and not the form. And then, invitation is done. This is the only action you need to worry about. Do what's in front of you, period. You don't have to worry about a 90-day plan or a 30-day plan or all of these promises on when you're going to show up to the gym. Just do what's in front of you. If you feel inspired to go call a gym, do that. If you feel inspired to sit on the couch and watch something and rest, give that to yourself. Give that to your body. Do what's in front of you. Receiving handles the how. Now, I'm going to give you some concrete examples in a moment, but I really want you to get this. Receiving handles the how. You do the receiving. You receive everything that life is giving you in any given moment, and the how will be delivered by life one step at a time. You just show up for it. You show up for it as best you can, receiving it all, and life delivers the how. Okay, now you can take this exact same template that I walked you through and apply it to symptoms and apply it to a diagnosis. Just practice ALI and watch what happens. Now, let me give you some examples of what happens for people around food, body issues, wellness symptoms by practicing ALI. I will start with myself. Some of you heard on training number 2 about my experience with bulimia, right? So I used to do it the Hunter way. I used to try to lose a certain amount of weight and obsess about food and all of that from morning until night. And it was just a living hell. It just felt horrible. And I was in binging and purging mode. And when I finally was guided into relationship with my body, relationship with food, rather than objectifying my body, my food, and operating from control, I would show up as best I could. And I did not have the receiving template back then, but I found a teacher and I started to have a relationship with it, with my body, and a relationship with eating and a relationship with exercise. So what happens is I just started most recently, I wanted to have yoga become a regular part of my life. Now my brain wanted to do the old Hunter thing a little bit, just because I've trained myself out of it. Like, okay, I got to wake up every morning and I need to do my yoga thing. And how am I going to organize my life? And just all of this doing. And like, I got to make a commitment and I got to do this, right? But every part of me just didn't like it. It didn't feel good. So I asked myself, what kind of a relationship do I want to have? I want to be somebody, human being. I want to be somebody who's in love with yoga. I want to be somebody who loves the experience of moving her body in a way that feels aligned in a holistic sort of way. I just kept receiving everything that was coming. Every time I'd have thoughts about yoga and thoughts about fitness and whatever was there for me, I just kept receiving it, receiving it, receiving. And by itself, just by itself, my body started to want to get up in the morning. My body started to want to do yoga every morning. And I really wanted to have the experience of, because here's the thing, when you're in love with something, nothing gets in the way, right? Doesn't matter if you're traveling, doesn't matter if you're busy, doesn't matter if you, have other people who need time from you. Of course you make time for it. Of course you show up because you're in love with it. That's what happens when you're in love with something. All of these other obstacles are not a non-issue. All right. I've had clients who've come to me, they've been battling weight and all kinds of food, body, and exercise issues. And they'd really try to control their way and be really restrictive and really controlling and really hard on themselves. And when we started to actually relate to what was really happening, which is about their relationship with their bodies, their relationship with themselves, and practice receiving everything, naturally guided to a way of eating, a way of moving, a way of being with themselves that has felt so harmonious and fulfilling. Because again, you're going to have a relationship with your body for the rest of your life. What kind of a relationship do you want to have? Same thing with health. Same thing with symptoms. When we have symptoms, when we have aches and pains, when we get a diagnosis, it's very common to feel afraid. It's very common to get up in our heads and try to solve the problem. You're going to get more problem solving. And even if you start to get a solution here and a solution here, there's still a lot of emotion that goes with this. But when we receive, I walked you through receiving in awareness, but a lot of receiving is about sensing and feeling the sensations in your body so that they can also move on through and you can be spacious and receptive to the kindness that's already here. So I hope this has piqued your curiosity, and I hope that you're going to take ALI into your life and just start practicing it right away as best you can. I realize you might have questions, so please feel free to post them below. I'm going to include some links above and below in Facebook and YouTube. And if you like this, please like, please share, and please subscribe. It helps me reach the people that I'm here to serve. Now, if you want to go deeper, if you want some support around this, there's always resources and you just need to ask about them and I'll let you know. But the one I want you to know about right now is I think it's 9 days. So November 20th, I am doing a brand new New Year's workshop. It's called Surpass Your Limits in 2022. And it's $47. It's 2 parts, Saturday the 20th, and then Tuesday we have the 23rd, a morning and an evening Q&A session. You can attend either or both. And if you're among the first 25 to register, then I'm going to give you a 90-day plan to start off your new year with clarity. Now, you heard me say 90-day plans, who needs those? Well, my kinds of plans are the ones that include illumination of your probable blind spots, the essence that you need to focus on, not the form, the essence, and some recommended next steps that are going to be actions that are in alignment with supporting you in receiving your fulfillment. So, it's going to be very powerful. If you're interested in that, I'd love to see you there. Go to surpassyourlimitsworkshop.com. Watch for the emails. And also, if you're not already a member of the Receive community, check out the link for that. Join me. I do updates. Recordings are there for all of these mini trainings. It's the greatest place to get all the latest on receiving. Just click and join. I'd love to see you in the community. All right. Next week, we do the final mini training series on personal power and confidence. So if that speaks to you, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll be here, same bat time, same bat channel for Rise and Receive, 1 o'clock Pacific time. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you at the next mini training. Bye, everybody.